For years, digital transformation seemed like something mostly about computers and software and storing records or data. This is what business pursue for the sake of IT agility, to extract a new value from data or model software prototypes of physical goods or to develop even business processes. While such development initiatives are often vital to an organization, it turns out that digital transformation is really about us at its heart. That has many powerful lessons to teach us how to think about technology and work, both now and in the future during the COVID 19 era. Now let's listen intro.
Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Welcome to OTech Talks podcast. This is session number 66, and we will be talking on how to develop a digital transformation strategy. And we will be covering today what is strategy, how to develop digital transformation strategy, and details on three-step approach, what are the common questions. So we will be covering on that one. But before going into our topic of digital transformation, if you're new to the show, Open Tech Talks is your weekly sandbox for technology insights, experimentation, and inspiration, with the primary objective of learning and sharing. To just update you, the session is part of our digital transformation series, where we have covered a number of sessions. And if you're a beginner on digital transformation, my suggestion is to go to otechtalks.tv, and in the menu item podcast, you will get so many sessions on digital transformation. Now, before going into our topic, I thought what's happening with our world and with us as we are quarantined, we are staying at home. The COVID-19 outbreak is a tragedy, and that will have widespread and long-lasting implications for humanity and for our global economy. I hope you are all staying safe and healthy, and the way discussion and started happening in the organizations and at sea level on the key questions. These conversations make one point clear. Business transformation enabled by digital is being the new normal, as the nature of work is redefined by COVID-19, delivering education online, shifting bank client interaction to apps, and accelerating the digital workflow with RPA or AI or automation is now required. There is no other choice to that one. We are hearing firsthand from learners how they see transformation playing out in their organizations. While by no means it's easy, the new ways of operating challenge the underlying economics and partnership that define ecosystems is very, very challenging in this time of period. And what we correlate, or we used to talk the digital economy, characterized by rapid development, change, creativity, and disruption. Organizations that want to keep up must be prepared to adopt to this new digital environment. So these were all our thoughts even before last two months, what's happening in across the world. But now the digital transformation requires more than just adopting new technologies or investing in fancy gadgets or even updating current systems. And we discussed in our previous podcast session that how digital transformation or business transformation is important and how it impacted us, and we easily or quickly, leads or landed into this telehealth, online education, even home deliveries, e-commerce sites, and all those are the chances. And if you want to go into detail, please read listen our previous session. That's why it's so important for the organization to have a digital transformation strategy now in place. Even if you don't have, but most probably you already have. But even some of the organizations, a lot of surveys, the results are showing that they're still thinking about it, but now there's no other choice. When new technologies evolve, organizations should avoid the pitfalls of implementing such advances too fast, pushing them out in a way that might cause too much or even too little disruption, and not monitoring the changes within the enterprise properly. The basic idea of a digital transformation approach is to evaluate your own needs and your own organization culture, to set business objectives and identify and record risks so that you can run small pilots in your organization. You can take a feedback and then you can proceed on these technologies. That was our mantra or our thoughts that okay, how we are going to do it. Now with the enforcement of business transformation in this last 1 or 2 months, we have to be quick. We have to work on it to develop a digital transformation strategy that include 3 key components. What I believe is new mindsets and practices that embrace perpetual change, a continuous next strategy for achieving success in a world that is constantly moving forward. And if continuous next is a new topic to you, I think you can listen in our previous podcast, or you can head into continuous next is a from Gartner, where they presented their approach that how each and every organization need to be always working on the next, what is next, how they want to make sure that they are providing the real business customer experience to users, to the business consumers, and then how they're gonna work on the business models and everything. An organization's ability to foster perpetual innovation, integration, and delivery to the entire ecosystem. So these 3 areas are the strategic initiatives or the key components. Now, definitely setting a digital transformation strategy begins with maybe some of other questions which you need to answer to yourself. Where is the industry lead headed? What is the organization's role in the future? And how do I balance the sense of direction with ability to adapt? By answering these questions, you can develop a digital transformation strategy that focuses on what's relevant in your present and what will help in the organization succeed in the future. In most cases, the initiatives you are using to improve your current business will be relevant to your plans for the future. Now, as part of our today's session, let's go into more detail. What is dig deeper into our own strategy. And this term strategy probably is a misused word or overused words that we are using in everywhere, every time that okay, even if we need a strategy in order to win the business contract or a game or anything, it's in our daily lives. So digital transformation strategy is to analyze your own needs and your own organization culture, and then to set business objectives and understand and document the risks so that you can implement or you can go ahead where as a business objective you want to go. This is how the business strategy, and now we will go into some academic definition into that one, and that's I think well famous written in HBR in the 1995 one of the article. That's what is strategy. The where Porter put it into alternative views, both old and the new that were circulating in the different years, and his views on the strategy is seeking a single ideal competitive position in an industry, or maybe benchmarking and adopting best practices, or maybe aggressive outsourcing and partnering to improve efficiencies, then focusing on a few key success factors, critical resources, and core competencies, or rapidly responding to ever-evolving competitive and market changes. So all these are the questions, the key parameters should be part of in your strategy. Now, if you correlate the more strategy, that even some of the high-level war games, there were some books written on by Carl Vaughan on war. The book name is On War, where he uses strategy references based on the war situations and how it's implemented or relevant to the war. And then there is another famous book from the Chinese War Journal, that's Sun Tzu. That's the book, The Art of War. So both these books are worth to read, and these are old books, but it gives you that the corporate strategy is also influenced from the from these books, or maybe these the games or the strategic initiatives were being planned, or the articulation of how to win a war was done. Now, between winning on a battle or a game, or winning a bet in a corporate, is almost irrelevant to that one. It's going to be a long-term plan for you. Now, if we will correlate to this now into modern literature in the field of corporate strategy, where we see a more corporate type of definition, which is what is strategy in a business. The definition of strategy is a long-term plan of actions designed to achieve a particular goal or set of objectives. A core management function, strategy states how businesses should be conducted in each area of operations in order to successfully accomplish the goals and objectives. And then strategy is being studied by different business leaders and a lot of universities, and there are famous books on that one. There's one famous book, Exploring Corporate Strategy, by Gary Johnson and Kevin. They wrote on that one that strategy determines the direction and scope of an organization over the long term. And they say that it should determine how resources should be configured to meet the needs of market and stakeholders. And then the Michael Porter, former strategy expert and professor at Harvard Business School, emphasizes the need of strategy to define and communicate an organization's unique position. And then, according to determine how organization resources, skills, and competencies should be combined to create competitive advantages. Then there is another famous book from on the corporate strategy that is from the Richard Rumelt. It's from the management to, he put it into 4 categories in his book, which is either strategy is efficient or effective or aligned to business mission or goal. You need to have to check 4 key areas that check for consistency. That this is your first criteria, that short-term goal, objective, and policies, and make sure that you support the long-term business strategies. And then assess your strategy's adaptability. That was second point, that you need to determine how well your strategy matches and adapts to the environment. Start this 2-part assessment by first determining whether your strategy is helping your organization realize the social and economic ideals outlined in your business mission, and then look at whether and how well your strategy acknowledges or manages goals, changing economics, and all the legislative trends. The third key area or point on that one, competitive advantage analysis. So the Rumelt criteria was that analyze your business strategy to make sure it allows you to develop, promote, and sustain your organization's competitive advantage. What is happening in the market, who does what, and then how you need to compete against that one. And the fourth one, evaluate your business strategy for feasibility. This is the final point from Rumelt criteria, is to evaluate your business strategy as a whole process so that you can see that is it meeting your financial perspective, the limitations, requirements, knowledge, skills, all. It's not that yet you have developed the strategy, but it's not meeting the objectives of the business. And this is available in his book, which is A Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, The Difference and Why It Matters. And this is what he pinpoints. And in that one, even he has pinpointed, there's another method which is called the diagnosis. And this diagnosis method put it into 3 areas. That you want to have a method on diagnosis into 3 areas. That you need to follow 3 steps basically: the diagnosis, the guiding policy, and the coherent set of actions. This is the kernel of strategy, as per the book in the Good Strategy and Bad Strategy. Now the diagnosis put it in that one, that when you're designing a strategy, you need to deal with the challenge. A good strategy, therefore, must identify the challenge to be overcome and design a way to overcome it. To do that, the kernel of a good strategy contains 3 elements: diagnosis, a guiding policy, and coherent action, a set of actions, what you're going to take it. Now, You can go and I will put in the show notes this book, but I like it. The very comprehensive book. A diagnosis defines the challenge, what holding you back from reaching your goals, and even good diagnosis simplifies the complexity of into small parts, situation, maybe analogy or existing separate framework or anything. And then you need to have a guiding policy to overall approach chosen to cope with and overcome these obstacles which you have identified in the diagnosis. And then a set of coherent actions dictate how the guiding policy will be carried out. The action should be coherent, meaning the use of resources, policies, and all the other areas coordinated, supported with each other. That's how you will achieve it. And in modern world, I like this strategy of the diagnosis first to it, then the guiding policy, and then the set of actions how you're going to put it into action into that one. Now, if you want to go in more detail from a academic point of view, then there's another book for corporate strategy, and this is according to many schools is the father of corporate strategy. Then there are another 10 must read on strategy by HBR. Then on strategy by Boston Consulting, there's another book on that one. Now I'll put all these books on the show notes, and then there are some other books on the strategy which if you wanna go ahead and then you can find out. For example, Leading Change by John Kotter. It's one of the well-known scholar on the creative change management and his principles 8-step model. You wanna read it. Then there's another digital transformation playbook, and where the David Rogers talk about strategy on that one. Then there's another book on the innovator's dilemma. So there are a number of books on available, and you can get into more details on that one. Now we will go back to till now we covered the basics or the principles or the definition of the strategy, the corporate strategy. And we concluded that the best what I feel that is that you need to put in the diagnosis, the guiding policy, and the set of actions on that one. Now, definitely, a digital transformation strategy starts with answering essential questions such as what, why, how, and who. A digital transformation strategy builds links between current state and desired, right? A long-term plan. So if you need to build it for your organization, then we got that, okay, what are the basics on the strategy? Now, if you need to build it, then you need to, go, okay, how, what, and who is going to develop it. Then definitely you need to find out, okay, 3 fundamental questions, or maybe you need to ask. Now we are in the part of that, how you are going to develop it, or you want to prepare the transformation strategy. Now, these 3 fundamental questions are, okay, why do we need to transform? And what do we need to transform? And how we can transform? And if you go back to our previous sessions on the otechtalks.tv, you will get a number of sessions on the benefits of digital transformation, how you're going to do it, digital maturity, learning, basics, how the other organizations are doing it, what are the factors. Now, if you get all these 3 questions that or to ask that one, okay, what is your vision? What is your plan, and what are your actions? It's just to shorten or in a summarized format. Now, definitely these are the questions you need to ask yourself as an organization. And as the student of digital transformation learning or digital transformation into helping and driving and working with number of organizations, I'm leading into again and that why we are all doing all this one, that is just to learn and share with each other, so that what is happening in the world of business transformation, what are the bases and the very beginners concepts. I understand maybe you are my listener who is very expert on that one, and I would love to have you on as a guest so that you can share your knowledge with all of the other beginners. Now, while doing the digital transformation strategy or developing it or plan on that one, you need to have some considerations or some key points out of that. Okay, identify market,
maybe a pain points. We need to assess skill set, culture, and readiness. You need to develop a roadmap to get where you need to go. You need to have a get clear leadership buy-in. Focus on long term with immediate, intermediate goals, the short term or the low hanging fruits, what you're gonna get it. Assess or benchmark where you are. Then focus on a core assets, maybe a customers or data. Design for innovation, optimization, agility, and scale. And then even the gaps which you have between your customers, stakeholders, or suppliers. What are the touch points? How you want to improve it? Start where it makes sense rather than going all okay. I want to transform whole organization and then you're not reaching to somewhere. Analyze and prioritize. Again, base strategy on where you are and where you want to go. This is equal to our maturity assessment, which we have covered already. Optimize information and data maturity, set goals and KPIs, how you will measure the digital strategy, and even learn, measure, reassess, scale. So all this you put it in your strategy framework. And then even you need to map current status with major opportunities, challenges, internal, external help you need it. Maybe you need some third party, big firm which are going to help you to build a strategy. And then you need to connect the IT, the enterprise architects, or enterprise architecture team, CIOs, IT organization with the business organization, so that they both together sits and then they work with you, drive the strategy. And in the end, the way Gartner said is continuous next. It's mean repeat, and innovate. So all these are the some of the thoughts, some of the areas where you need to keep in mind while you're developing your strategy or planning or visioning it, or you put an action plan into that one. Now, definitely, we spoke even earlier, and when we were talking on the digital transformation, defining as a corporate strategy, what are the basics of that one? Definitely, some of the key questions you need to ask yourself: what do we want to achieve? Is it long-term objective, intermediate? What do we need to do first? What knowledge do we need? What needs to be connected? What skills do we need to have? What we want, who can validate this one? Do we need to have involved? All these are the different questions. And I think I'll put it in a lot of material in the show notes, which will help you to arrive and reach on your digital strategy. And then you are going to plan it. You are going to put a roadmap into that one. Okay, what are the objective, prioritization? What are the short-term goals? What are the long-term goals? Now, definitely, this is become your like a project or a program action plan along with a roadmap, which is current state assessment to systematic gaps and then visioning a future. This what I will summarize today's our discussion on an agenda that I can see the outlines by strategy, not technology, drive digital transformation. It's a Deloitte article, which is strategy, not technology, drives digital transformation. And if you will summarize their findings and even our discussion today, starting from what is digital transformation strategy, what are the basics of strategies or the definition, and then how we are going to plan it as an organization. We summarize all these areas. It leads to the digital strategy drives digital maturity. The power of a digital transformation strategy lies in its scope and objectives. That's a key component on that one. And then the maturing digital organizations build skill to realize the strategy. So once you got the digital mature scope and objective, and then you build the strategy or build the skills about how you're going to achieve it. And then definitely then employees want to work for a digital leaders. And then you're going to define how you're going to take risks. And then based on those risks, it's become your cultural norms it's becoming your DNA, part of your DNA that your organization will achieve and will transform the way today's requirement. And then the digital agenda is always coming from the top. And the maturing organizations are nearly twice as likely as less digitally mature entities to have a single person or group leading the effort. In addition, employees in digital maturing organizations are highly confident in their leaders' digital fluency. And digital fluency doesn't demand mastery of the technologies. Instead, it requires the ability to articulate the value of digital technologies to the organization's future. And this is what everyone need to master it. That you need to articulate the value of digital technologies to the organization's futures. And what I believe is, being an IT guy, we need to be more attentive, more putting effort on that one, that how we are going to articulate that, okay, blockchain, AI or ML or IoT or all robotic process automation, all these computer vision, all these technologies are how it's gonna, cover or put forward or ensure that what is the organization futures and how they're going to contribute to that one. Now, what I did is when I was doing all the planning and research and improving my knowledge on the digital transformation strategy, how to develop it and all that. So I want to share with you one example, and I like it very, very, very much, this example. And I would love that you whoever is listening, wherever you are, whenever you get into your computer, please go ahead and access this website. And this is for public sector, which is from the Australian Government Digital Transformation Agency. The way they put forward and even documented on the website the digital transformation strategy. It's a dashboard which is released in November 2018 with the roadmap of initiatives to improve government services. And I love that one. Now, if I will share with you the digital transformation strategy 2018 to 2025, and the dashboard is talking about the first objective is governments that's easy to deal with. In that one, the objective one, you will be able to access all government services digitally by 2025. Very well structured, documented, targeted, smart objective, which we called. Objective 2, you will have seamlessly integrated services that support your needs and life events. Third one is you will be able to choose a secure and easy to use digital identity to access all digital government services. You will have objective 4, you will have access to alternatives if you are unable to access services in a digital way. Very wonderful. Then governments that informed by you, second component into that one, where they're saying we will use data analysis to make sure our services meet your needs, to understand better what people and business expect from the government, and to improve future services. In that objective 5, services will be smart and adapt to the data you choose to share. 6, policy and services will draw on data and analytics. 7, objective, advanced technologies will improve decision making and be transparent and auditable. Objective 8, earn your trust through being strong custodians of your data. And the third component was government that's fit for the digital age. Australian expects government to be easy to deal with and to provide smart and convenient services. In that objective 9, equip your people and Australian businesses with the skills necessary to deliver world-leading digital services. Objective 10, adopt better ways of working that bring people together quickly and efficiently and reduce risk. Objective 11, collaborate with other sectors including small and medium-sized enterprises, community organizations, and academia. 12, develop sustainable platforms that we can share across government. 13, deliver value for people and businesses by managing costs and risks. I love all these objectives. And if you go in, and they have a very, very long, I think, big document on the digital transformation strategy. So that can be a good for citizens or for a government public sector, which they can have, look into that one. And then I'll share with you another example on the public sector, which is Smart Dubai 2021. So if you want to access, I will put in the show notes 2021.smartdubai.a, where preparing Dubai to embrace the future, and they have put together the strategy and envisioning the goals on that one. That it's a seamless, that integrated daily life services, efficient, optimized use of city resources, safe, anticipate risks and protect people and information, personalized, enriched life and businesses experiences for all. And the city's transformation agenda is built on some principles, which is city experience, smart city government, or a smart city governance, data exchange and insights, global leadership, smart city planning, city technology efficiency, emerging technologies, smart ecosystem enablement. And if you go into the site, and then they'll give delivering citywide impact covering all these areas. And I like these 6 strategic objectives to achieve the government transformation basically. And these, what Smart Dubai did is they identified 42 strategic and 58 additional KPIs to track it, which is starting from smart, livable, and resilient city to globally competitive economy powered by disruptive technologies, then interconnected society with easily accessible social services, and then smooth transport driven by autonomous and shared mobility solutions, clean environment enabled by cutting edge ICT innovations, digital lean connected government. So all these are the initiatives as a business transformation, you can say, but these are the government transformations. How they are talking, how they're communicating with the citizen, how they're transforming the cities. So these are all the parameters, are some of the examples on the on the digital transformation strategy. Now I understand I have given you some of the public sector examples. Definitely, you're working in different private and commercial organizations. We need to go into those details. And definitely, we will keep working on it to find out some other examples or other studies, case studies, where how the digital transformation strategy is developed or implemented. There are so many, I think, context and the knowledge is available on the internet. Thank you so much. With this, we are done with today with our session on digital transformation strategy, how to develop it, or what are the basic, starting from what is strategy and going into academic definition of strategy and then why it's important, and then taking into 3 core areas, then from a diagnosis and then how it's going to assess it and present it, realign it, and then few of the other examples on that one, and then what are the key areas, how you achieve it if you're going to develop it today. And we will jointly keep learning and improving our knowledge. Thank you so much once again for joining the session, and all my praise to God that bless all of us, this world, and we will be back soon to our organization, to the world where we live after this outbreak is controlled by all the governments. And take care of yourself, your family, stay home. Please follow the directions of the healthcare and agencies and government. This is very, very critical, because sometimes I heard that people, young generation or young people are ignoring it, that nothing is going to happen, but it is really, really, really important that you control yourself. Stay home, spend your time with your family, and then I think there are so many other activities we can do at home. The number of courses are being offered free of cost from number of organizations. I think we can go and attend those one, or even we can go ahead and we can do some exercise at home. This is what I am doing as a family. So we all family members are doing some. There are a lot of YouTube exercises are happening. And then even also I wrote, from a learning point of view, if you're interested in digital transformation, learning of digital transformations. There are some courses available free of cost. I think even if you don't need certificate, and you can go and subscribe to them, attend. That is edx.org. And I wrote on a blog on otechtalks.tv, which is 7 courses for digital transformation learning of training. It is from Coursera, edx.org, and then some other, I think 2-3 organizations. So you can find out under the otechtalks.tv in blog session. You will find out this new blog on the 7 courses, which will help you to get the basic knowledge on the digital transformation, leadership, strategy, and all of the competitive intelligence on all those areas. With this, I'm closing today our session. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful life ahead. God bless all of us.
Thanks for listening to the OTech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.